Have you ever seen an 11-year-old girl save a trapped shark in between rocks? What about a diver having to grab a shark with his bare hands in order to get a hook out of its mouth? And what about a 12-inch knife stuck inside of a shark? Here are 6 times sharks asked humans for help and kindness. Number 6. These 3 Australian men gave a whole new meaning to the phrase "catch a tiger by its tail." Off the beaches of the Coral Bay, a 9-foot-long tiger shark came onto shore. The crowd stands there in shock and disbelief. One man even decides to sit on the shark while another man attempts to remove the hook from the shark's mouth. Finally, the hook is removed from the shark's mouth and the crowd gives a cheer. But that's just part 1. Now the shark needs help getting back into the water. An adult tiger shark can weigh as much as 650 pounds, so this isn't going to be an easy job, to say the least. One of the men even tries to flip the shark over on its back. After several failed attempts to get the shark into the water, they eventually have to get resourceful. Turning the shark carefully so that its head points to the ocean, the men are able to team up and push the shark into the water using all their strength. After a few speed bumps, the shark is able to swim into the sea without any problems, and the crowd can finally cheer. Don't think today will be a swimming in the water kind of day for the beachgoers. Number 5. We have a truly inspiring story with this one. A diver by the name of Louis Van Aert went out to sea on a regular dive with his crew, witnessing a sand shark in a tough position to say the least. A giant fishing hook was stuck inside of the shark's head, extremely deep. You can see the emotion and desperate energy the shark gives off, simply wanting to be helped. Louis quickly realized this wasn't another case of a marine mammal having a hook in it. This was a serious case that needed some serious attention. The hook was clearly massive, and Louis just couldn't sit there without taking action. It was clearly evident that the shark was in rough condition. Most likely it couldn't eat and needed help fast. The shark continued to swim in circles, only hoping someone would help. Louis finally jumped into action. He and his team managed to grab the shark and swim above the water with it. The dangers of sticking your hand inside of a shark are clear, but the team decided to take the risk. Eventually, someone from the crew was able to get the hook out of the shark's mouth. The divers let the shark go, but something very surprising happened. The shark started to fall to the bottom of the sea. The team was worried that they may have hurt the shark. The team left and eventually came back 2 weeks later. Surprisingly enough, they ran into the shark again, and the shark's recovery is absolutely incredible. The difference from before and after is truly heart-touching. It had a battle scar on its head, and the team ended up naming the shark Scarlet. Talk about a remarkable story. Number 4. Like our story before with Scarlet, it's quite common for sharks and other marine life to have hooks and lines attached to them. But it's not every day you see a shark with a 12-inch knife sticking out of its head. This is exactly what happened off the island of Cayman Brac when a scuba diving instructor was leading a group of tourists on a dive. They discovered a shark with a knife sticking out of its head. Diver Ben Johnson slowly swam up to the shark, trying his best to be as calm and still as possible. He slowly swam behind the shark and pulled out the knife. The knife was able to come out soft and gently, not hurting the shark at all. There was no information as to what happened leading up to this incident or who did such an act. However, luckily the knife wasn't rooted too deeply inside of the shark, and the shark was able to recover fast. Number 3. Here, a droughtbird shark is stuck in between some rocks, and it takes a brave soul to help it.
Come on, darling.
This brave girl, Billy, who is just 11 years old, decided to save the shark. Not only that, but you can hear her talking to the shark calmly, knowing that it must have been in lots of stress.
Billy, take it in. Guys, it's me.
She slowly carries the shark away from the rocks, gently carrying it in her arms, slowly putting the shark back into the water. It slowly swims away, and it's a job well done. It's a great act of courage and kindness. Number 2. On November 7, 2012, a group of divers near Sirocco Island came upon a massive whale shark clearly in distress. The shark could have easily swam away from the people, but it was obvious that it was asking for help. There was a rope tightly situated around the shark, and the divers just couldn't sit there. They went into action. The rope was covered in shells and seaweed and had clearly been on the whale shark for a while. It was cutting into the shark's flesh. The rope was on the shark so tight that a large knife was needed to cut it. The shark patiently waits as a diver named Danny tries his best to get the tight rope off. After 10 seconds of intense work, Danny is able to get the rope off, and you can just feel the relief the shark now has. The rope was so tight that there's now a giant mark, but the shark will recover fast. It swims off, and you can see the divers celebrating in excitement. It's a job well done. Number 1. This shark has a rope tied around an awkward spot, its tail. It's going to be tough for the diver to take the rope off. However, that doesn't stop the experienced diver. The diver goes towards the shark, using a rod to try to attempt to pull the rope off the shark's tail. It immediately turns to the rod and opens its mouth. It's a tough position for the diver because the shark is already showing aggression. The diver is attempting to get the rope off. It's just in such a unique spot, and it's hard to navigate. The shark is clearly alarmed, and the man needs to stay safe in case the shark becomes aggressive. The shark begins to swim away, but the diver doesn't give up. The rope is so close to coming off. The diver is eventually able to get the rope off the shark, and it's a mission complete. To see more animal rescues, stay tuned into our channel Animal Rescue, where we post all sorts of animal and marine life rescues. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it.